everybody, my name is Jay and I'm from Dudes of Legends here with another Tales of Legends for you. And this time I have a good friend of mine, an amazing streamer. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. My name is 𝐸𝐸. I'm a Final Fantasy 14 PNG tuber and avid nerd of everything D&D. I'm very happy to be here, and I hope to leave a lasting impression with some of the fucking crazy shit I've done in D&D today.
I do want to kind of get some ideas on how you started, some crazy stories you've been through, and
Oh,
we could start from there. So go ahead, the floor is yours.
how did I get started in D&D? Well, this goes back a while back. My current DM is my buddy Josh. I've known him since the second grade, and he's the one who's running the Ravenheart and Blackluck Loots campaigns, which I'm both a part of with the same character. And there's actually a story for that. I'll get into that later. But my dad was friends with another doc who was a huge nerd. And me and his son were friends, and they invited me over to play AD&D. So D&D first edition for the uninitiated.
Okay.
And my first ever character was a ranger. I based him off of Aragorn and Legolas from Lord of the Rings, because I'm a huge Lord of the Rings nerd, believe it or not. Those are my favorite movies of all time, and I love coming up with character ideas based on them. But that was my start. And then I kind of fell off with D&D until another friend decided we were going to do another campaign, and we did a futuristic setting. And that was in 3.5. This was like a 10-year gap, by the way. Actually, no, it probably wasn't 10 years. It was probably like 5 or 6, but it was a decent chunk of time between my first game of D&D to my second game of D&D. And then after that, that campaign eventually kind of fizzled out, as campaigns do from time to time.
Yeah.
And then eventually we got to the 5e setting. To put this in perspective, I was about 18, 19 at this point, just going into college. And a few of my friends from the game club introduced me into World of Darkness, which is a D10 rolling system, and it's a lot more roleplay based and horror and spooky shit. And it was just your basic fucking zombie campaign, but it was really well done. It was a lot of fun. And then eventually we moved on to actual D&D 5th edition, which is where my name Cinder comes from. It's from my first character in 5e, which was a wood elf rogue that I made, who was basically, his entire backstory was he was a noble who got bored and wanted to go adventuring. And that was it. That was why he went and did it.
He was a noble that got bored and was like, you know what? Instead of living life comfortably, I'm gonna go fight goblins.
Yeah, fuck this shit, I'm out. And he didn't even really go fight goblins. He got his kicks by robbing people. That's what he did.
Man, a noble that's greedy, so he steals.
Well, because it's even funnier because he ended up that was an entire campaign. It was called the Thieves Guild campaign. All of us were rogues or monks. We were basically all stealth characters. And basically, we worked for an off-the-books government facility, I'm going to call it, for lack of a better term at the moment. And basically, our jobs were, hey, our job is to make sure that people in this trading city play nicely. If people are fucking cheating or doing bad shit or doing dirty deals, it's your job to find out.
So you were security?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Basically, it was security and a bunch of other shit, but then there was also this overarching plot of where we had to stop this one psychic dude from fucking basically taking over the city and doing all this other shit. And we worked out. It was super basic, but it was a fun time. And we basically had one world that everybody ran their campaigns in. And we had a bunch of crossovers between characters and just random shit that they were doing. So that was a lot of fun to do. But basically, after a little while, we ended up doing like our first major campaign, which was called the Chains of Sadagul, and we actually did that one to completion. That was a low magic setting that we did. And I made my DM hate his life, because I was playing a hunter ranger, and let me tell y'all guys, volley is a lot of fun to do when you have a bow that can hit from 5 miles out.
My friend just discovered the volley thing from Ranger.
Oh, dude, it's so good.
He is in love with it. Like he thinks that trick or whatever is probably the only reason why he would even pick Ranger, because it's so fun to do.
Well, because, like, it's even funnier because, hold on, let me go find the rules for it real quick. Okay, multi-attack volley. You can use your action to make a ranged attack against any number of creatures within 10 feet of a point you can see within your weapon's range, which is real funny because the bow I had was, like, you can make an accurate shot out to 10,000 feet or some shit like that. And on top of that, yeah, I could also had a special thing where I could double knock arrows. So I basically
You're a turret at this point.
I was basically like, so I'm just gonna put a bunch of fucking quivers to like. I basically had to ask my DM, how many quivers can I have? He was like, you can have 2. I was like, all right, cool. And then I gave quivers to everybody else, and I'm like, you guys are my stockpile, because I would just be like, I would fucking take the disadvantage and fucking try to hit for the double arrow and then also use volley. So I would just fucking lose all of my arrows in like 2 rounds of combat, but like everything would be dead.
That's you were essentially like a death turret, but with a bow.
Well, like it's even funnier because like I'm supposed to be rolling at disadvantage, but I had like a +10 to hit or something by this point.
So it didn't matter.
It didn't really matter. Like I could roll a 5 on most normal enemies and I'd still hit. And then eventually he had to sit me aside. He's like, "All right, I'm banning you from using. You either get to use volley or you get to use the fucking double arrow thing. You don't get to use both."
He nerfed you in mid game.
He didn't nerf me mid game. He took me before one of the sessions and he told me, he was like, "Yeah, I have to do this because I can't fucking balance my combat around it." I was like, you know what? Fair enough. Because I'm fucking stupid enough as it is. And then, like, it was really even funnier because we got to a point later on, like, undead weren't super common, but they popped up from time to time. And, like, we came across, like, a circle of undead and a witch, and he was like, yeah, there are a bunch of undead sitting in a circle, like, 10 feet around each other. And I was like, so, how close are they? He looked me dead in the eye, and he was like, shit.
Yikes.
Because I was just like, well, that's 10 attacks and 10 hits and they're dead.
Jesus.
It was great, man. I loved that campaign.